Welcome back, guys, to the Coins and Connections podcast. This is your girl, Cinquanta Cox-Smith, and we are going to continue to explore all things books, business, and bullshit. Let's get into today's episode. Hey, y'all. Episode 13, Home Skillets. So, this is a little late disclaimer, but by now you know that this is not a family-friendly podcast, and it's more of a self-care podcast, and that means don't listen while you're around your kids or in the car, because I can't be responsible for teaching them the words fuck, shit, or damn. You know, those type of things. Sorry. If you couldn't tell by the topic of the podcast, books, business, and bullshit, what you are getting yourself into, I am so sorry. You are a little late, but I think I discussed this in the first couple of episodes, and it's too late. You're already, knee deep in the game, and now you love what you hear, so let's go. So I get asked a lot, how did you start your podcast? Where do I begin? How can I start a podcast? Well, if you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. First of all, it's free. I'm down with the free. There's a creation tool that allows you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. You can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. Like, ain't nobody listening yet and you making money. How dope is that? It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So what are you waiting on? Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. So I'm super excited today because I had someone to send me a message, and they basically asked a question. And, I've been asking you guys, send me an email, send me questions. And I love when it's not the typical, how did you start question. I love different topics. So I asked her if it was okay if I shared it on the podcast. And from the titles, you guys know that it might be a bit of mess, but also we are going to go back and talk about boundaries. We talked about this in the earlier episodes. So here is the message from one of my listeners. She writes, "Hey Cinquanta, I was wondering if you could help me with the situation. My aunt is the only customer that I have that will only shop if there is a discount included. She has even went as far as to call me in front of her friends and ask me for a discount for them. The other day she texted me and asked me who prints my products, then later on texts me, never mind. Probably because I didn't answer her. Now she's texting me again, asking the same question, saying it's for a friend who wants to print sweatshirts for a nonprofit organization. I don't believe that, and I don't want to tell her and give her something to negotiate by knowing what I pay for my products. How would you handle that? I really don't know what to say, but I already know my answer to her is no. Please help." So y'all, my response was boundaries. This is one of those tough things that we deal with. Like you, I would not respond and then later refer, meaning refer an entirely different website, one that you probably never used, but that's just the petty in me. Going forward, you would have to basically use your voice, be firm. She will be mad and upset, but you have to speak up for yourself, and at this point, she doesn't respect you or your business. So that was my response, and I would love to hear from you guys about this topic. So you can send me your responses on Facebook, on Instagram, Snapchat, or even send it to my email. But boundaries is something that we definitely have to enforce in our lives, and boundaries are really important. And recently I put a lot of boundaries in place, and I refuse to let people talk to me any type of way. And sometimes it comes off as angry or combative or even defensive, but no, it's just stop letting people talk to me reckless or just letting shit slide. And I know we always get that backlash from our families, like, oh, but I'm your cousin, I'm your auntie, I'm your uncle. Where the discount at? And then you have those families that will pay full price for whatever, but you have that slim few that just needs a discount. And if they can't shop and sign up for your like discounts like normal people, then really they don't want to support you. So I feel like if you have to continuously ask for a discount, then it's like you're making it seem like, oh, I don't gotta support you, you just give me a discount. Like, I feel like they didn't want to support you in the first place. So if that's the only reason that you want to support me is because I give you a discount, then I don't need your support. And those are just boundaries that we have to use with friends, family, co-workers, whoever. I mean, now I'm down for creating a certain discount code for those types of situations. We can always have a back end friends and family discount, and it stays the same price, and they can constantly use that discount code. But again, being me, I would put a minimum on it. Like, they would have to spend $25 or more, or it depends on what type of stuff I have on my website. They would have to spend $50 or more. So you just have to set those boundaries right away. So when they come at you the first time, you need to go ahead and put a discount code in place for friends and family. And then when you do get those messages, just send that and send the stipulations. And if they can't take that minimum amount that they have to spend for that to use their discount code, then they really don't want to support you. Again, or they can follow your social media pages, and when you have a sale, they can shop then. So there's no limit to them shopping, or when they shop, they can use discounts, but they don't have to always personally get one from you. Set those boundaries right away in your business so you don't have to deal with it down the line. All right, so we've talked about the boundaries, and now we're going to go ahead and jump into the ministry. But I want to tell y'all something, that I sit here and I kind of write out my episode notes and things, and then I get my paper and I'm like, oh my gosh, it doesn't seem like a lot, but these episodes typically end up being anywhere from 8 to 15 minutes. And it's because once I get out what I want to talk about, some things come to mind, and then I basically freehand that and share that. So in talking about my ministry, which is basically teaching and helping people, most people love to preach to the choir. And there's nothing wrong with that. But sometimes when preaching to the choir, you may need to really be preaching to yourself. So also, there are so many people that I work with and that I listen to, and some that I know personally. And I know a lot of times that we are trying to help people out, and then we get online and we just like are preaching at you and telling you things that you need to do to get in line, or starting, and we're just hammering it, just trying to get it out so you can get it through your thick ass head. That's something your mom would say. But you're just preaching to the choir. But then sometimes we gotta really take a second and preach to ourselves. Like, how can you truly preach some motivational, inspirational stuff, telling somebody to go get it, win it, get it together, and we're not doing it ourselves? So you have to take a deeper look inside and realize that some of the stuff that you are teaching or telling people are things that you truly need to tell yourself, and things that you need to put in perspective and use. So at a point in my career, I was preaching to myself. Like, I was constantly talking about things, but I was really talking about myself. So when I talked about certain things, now I'm no longer preaching to myself, because I finally took my own advice. And that was one of the hardest things for me to do, is to take my own damn advice. But the funniest thing is, it's good advice. So, even though we're preaching to everybody, we should really be checking ourselves and making sure we got our ducks in a row, because I feel like internally, that's always things that we say, we are internally talking to ourselves. And until you can basically look at yourself and say, okay, look, this message that you are actually speaking was for you. So now I need you to take a look in the mirror and take your own advice. We are not perfect. This podcast is not perfect. My life is not perfect. And a lot of things we don't share. I know a lot of people say, oh, social media is reality. It's like a reality reel of what people want you to see and not truly reality. But it's also this whole thing about just minding your damn business. Like, I feel like you don't have to put all your business out to the streets. Like, it's no reason for all that. Because when you put your business out into the streets, then you will gain unsolicited attention and advice from people who don't know the full story. They only know half of what you put out. They only know half of your reel and the script that you are portraying. Now, me personally, I don't give a damn what you do. I don't care how curated or pretty your Instagram is. I don't care how many friends you got on Facebook. That does not matter to me. I've also shortened my circle. My circle is very small, and it almost consists of just me, my husband, and my kids. And that's okay, because in 2018, I definitely took time to mind my damn business. I feel like at this point, if somebody didn't tell me personally, I don't know. I don't care if I saw it on Facebook. If you didn't tell me, I don't know. Because again, you can't believe everything you see. Unless you told me out your mouth, I don't know. I don't believe it. It didn't happen. So we choose what we share with certain people. I'll share a lot of stuff with y'all before I share with people I know, just because I feel like my audience will receive it better than that person I know, because they know my journey because of what I've shared with them. My group will probably understand a whole lot of stuff that I share with them before I share with somebody I know in real life. But again, it's all up to you. So remember, when you start to preach, make sure you're taking your own advice. Thank you guys so much again for subscribing and listening. Don't forget to download the episode, share it, leave a review. 5 stars, please. 5-star chick. I forgot that song. That was something back in the day. But again, if you have any questions or anything that you want me to talk about on the podcast, go ahead and send your questions to my email at hello@cinquantacoxsmith.com. Visit my websites, www.cinquantacoxsmith.com, www.coinsandconnections.com. My Instagrams are Cinquanta Cox-Smith and Coins and Connections. You can join my Facebook group. It's Books Plus Business with Cinquanta Cox-Smith. And thank you guys again so much for listening. I truly appreciate you. And I love you more than I love this podcast. Peace.